Lads and lasses, 1994, think about where you were. Most of our current starting 11 weren't even born. 32 years of the Anfield curse. We've seen the 4-3, we've seen the Tiddy camera goal, we've seen the last minute heartbreaks, but Liverpool are wobbling, Anfield are wobbling. They haven't won a game this calendar year in the league. No Isak for them, 125 million down the drain. The guy can't even hit a barn, let alone a barn door. And of course we've got our worries going into the game, but is tomorrow the night that we finally end the 32-year Anfield curse? Let's get into it. Following a bruising and emotional midweek trip to Paris to take on PSG, of course, we return to Premier League action tomorrow with a daunting visit to Anfield to face Liverpool at 8 o'clock live on TNT Sport. Of course, we all know what happened in the reverse fixture of this earlier in the season, ending in, of course, a 3-2 defeat to Liverpool, with Liverpool scoring in the 10th minute of second half stoppage time in a result that, of course, still is very annoying to this day. Looking at, of course, the team news going into this on our side, of course, for this, we have had some pretty decent updates. Eddie Howe coming out, of course, and saying that Joe Linton's travelled to Barcelona on Thursday and received an injection in his groin. It's good news. It's looking at now weeks and not months, which has been confirmed by Eddie, so that's good news. It's now weeks instead of months. That Joe Linton will be out. He's obviously still out, but it's weeks and not months, so that's good news for us. Bruno travelled, of course, with the team to France as a supporting player. He did train lightly. Of course, a decision will be made ahead of the game on, of course, Saturday tomorrow as to whether he will feature in the game. Hopefully he does, because we need Bruno. Looking at the way we played in the game against Aston Villa, you could say if we had had Bruno in that game, you know, there would have been a lot more chances opened up and we would have won that game against Aston Villa, of course. But he did travel to Paris primarily as a supporting role in on Tino Livramento. He, of course, undergoes a second scan today on his hamstring injury. If it's progressive in a positive way, then the current return date remains as early March. Looking at Liverpool, however, they're coming into this one dealing with their own issues as well. Connor Bradley unavailable, Joe Gomez unavailable, Abraham Konate unavailable, Giovanni Leone unavailable, and Jeremy Frimpong as well, who's just recently been added to that treatment table. And of course, that Swedish bloke that they paid an absolute fortune for, still on the sideline, Alexander Isak, of course, who is yet to hit the ground that he hit at St James's Park. Despite the reputation, Liverpool's, of course, league form has stalled badly. They're winless in all 5 Premier League games in 2026. The last time that they won a league game was, of course, 2-1 win against Wolves in late of course, December. 4 consecutive draws, followed a 3-2 defeat at Bournemouth as well. They did, however, respond in Europe, of course, in midweek with a 6-0 win over Qarabag. And talking about Qarabag, of course, that is who Newcastle will be taking on in the knockout playoffs. We will be taking on Qarabag either on the 17th or 18th for the first leg away in Azerbaijan, and then for the second leg it will be the 24th, 25th of February, which will be, of course, the home leg, and that will, of course, be sandwiched right between them 2 games will be the Manchester City game. The first leg, of course, which will be away in Azerbaijan, is only 3 days after we play Aston Villa down at Villa Park in the 4th round of the FA Cup. So it's, you know, being sandwiched in there. It's starting to get congested, and that is why, like I said in previous videos, you know, I wanted to see we get through into the top 8, and we were almost there. We were close. There was a few missed chances, and of course a dodgy referee as well didn't help matters. But looking at the officials for this game, we are going to be seeing Simon Hooper and Craig Pawson officiating over this game. Simon Hooper, of course, on his 2nd appointment this season in a Newcastle United game, and you don't have to guess what the other game was that you officiated over. It was, of course, the 3-2 home loss to Liverpool, so that doesn't bode very well when we're going into this game against Liverpool, and he is the man in the middle once again. And of course, Craig Pawson on VAR, who will be, you know, watching over the screens at Stockley Park. Hopefully he does a better job than most of the officials have been doing this season, but I'm not going to hold my breath on that one, of course. In looking at our record, our history, at Anfield over the years, let's not sugarcoat it. It hasn't been a great run at Anfield. It's been a bit of a graveyard for it. Of course, with the past 5 games being, of course, 4 of them being defeats, and of course 1 being a draw. That's the most positive we've had at Anfield in a long time. Of course, back in the 2020-21 season, it was a 1-1 draw with Willock scoring the goals, but we have had chances to win at Anfield, but it's always been some sort of thing that's cropped up and cost us that chance to get the win there. And the last time that we actually beat Liverpool at Anfield in the Premier League is all the way back in the 93-94 season. It was Rob Lee and Andy Cole. Yes, it's been that long since we've beaten Liverpool in the Premier League, but if you're looking at away from the Premier League, you're looking at the 95-96 season in the League Cup, and that was of course a goal by Howie, of course, and that was a 1-0 win against Liverpool. I believe it was Howie that scored the goal. Correct us if I am wrong on that, of course, down in the comments below. But I mean, we're going into this, history is against it, but Liverpool's form isn't looking very good in 2026. They are, like I say, winless in their last 5 games, of course, at Anfield in 2026. So let's, see if we can go there, and maybe this is the chance for us to finally break that curse that seems to be hanging over at the minute at Anfield, and get that win for the first time since 93-94. And like I say, we're going into this one on the back of a very high energy game that we had to play against PSG in Paris in midweek, whilst Liverpool's got an easier game against Qarabag, and we had to go all the way to Paris, play PSG in what was literally a very tough game with a very limited amount of players. They're not a full strength side, of course, so for we to come out of that game the way we did is pretty impressive, to be honest, and we almost won it as well, if not for a couple of missed chances and a dodgy referee. But let's see how this game goes tomorrow against, of course, Liverpool at Anfield, 8 p.m. kickoff live on TNT Sport. Let us know your score predictions down in the comments below. I'd happily take a 1-0 win and come away from Anfield with all 3 points in the bag, but failing that, if we can't get the win, then I'd happily take a draw in this game against Liverpool. Just coming away from Liverpool with something would be better than, of course, coming away with the defeat, of course. But let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. As always, remember to like, share, subscribe to the channel. Any Liverpool fans that are watching as well, what's your thoughts going into this one? And I'll see you all in the next one. However, lads.